Hello, my cutie friends. It's been 3 months since my last book haul, so let's get to it. I've got a lot of things to go over with you. I think there's 45 books, but that's only 15 a month. So like, I think we're good. I purchased a lot of Stephen Graham Jones because I realized at some point there was a bunch of things of his being like republished or that I just hadn't read. So I picked up a selection, and don't ask me what they're about. Don't ask me. Why do you watch a book haul? I actually want to know. Do you watch it for like recommendations? Do you watch it to get an idea of what the creator is going to be like posting soon? Do you just like want to vibe? Like, are you really listening to the synopsis and you want to like know what they're about? Because I feel like that's why I don't watch book hauls. Like, I feel like that's what people go to it for. Like when I do the Goodreads videos of upcoming things and I read like the whole synopsis, is that what you want from a book haul? Because I don't really know a lot about these books. I just want to show you like, well, I read that one. I just want to show you like the cover, like check them out. They're so fun. Okay, no, let's get an idea of kind of what they are. This one is The Least of My Scars. When a serial killer hits the top of his game, where does he go from there? Oh, we're just following a serial killer torturing and murdering people. Okay, then he gets caught up in killing for someone else and things get messy. This one, Zombie Bake Off. Doesn't that sound like something I would like? It's about professional wrestlers and free donuts were brought to them and then they turn into zombies. How ridiculous. This one, Not for Nothing. I love the cover. This one, I think I read the description. This is the one written in second person, maybe? Is that true? Your name is Nicholas Bruisman and you're a disgraced homicide detective. So down on your luck, you've been forced to take a job as a live-in security guard at a storage facility. But now there's people dying. I don't know. Okay, and then this one, Leadfeather. I picked this up for a reason. Was this his first one? Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I really don't know. This is more like before I think it's like before he got into horror stuff. It's following one Indian boy. Oh yeah, it's told through people witnessing his suicide attempts. So it's like perspective from, is it all people or is it like creatures and stuff? I remember this one sounded really heavy, but I wanted to make sure I read it someday. And then this one is the one that I've actually read. It's his latest release, The Buffalo Hunter. And it's a vampire story. It's a revenge tale, lots of religious influence. Definitely recommend that one, but I have reviewed it already in some kind of video. That one came from Aardvark. It's a book box I recently subscribed to, and then they made me like an affiliate. So I do have a link and a code. If you're in the States, you can get your first one for $4. Since they made me an affiliate, which is so incredibly kind, they basically let me pick out as many books as I want every month. And I'm trying not to take advantage of that. So I'm keeping it to 1 or 2. This month I picked out The Starving Saints, so that's on its way to me. And this is last month's box that I haven't even fully opened. I ripped open the tape and then I was like, wait, I don't have to read these anytime soon. So let me do this in a book haul. First up, we've got Immaculate Conception by Ling Ling Huang. I love how Aardvark integrates their logo. Like, they don't have it on the spine, which I prefer on my shelves. And look how pretty. It's like they actually take time to design it within the cover. Sometimes it is slapped on there because it works and it fits and it with the colors and the vibe of the cover. But a lot of times it's just integrated like into it, which I just think is very fun. This is a horror book. Do I know the plot of this? I'm reading it with Gabby for her book club. She's reading one of these with me and I'm reading this one with her book club. I've definitely read this to you at some point, but things leave my head very quickly. Two women meet at an art school, very competitive friendship. One of them gains fame and success. The other is desperate to keep her close. There's a cutting edge technology that could literally allow her to inhabit her friend's mind, get her memories, her artistic inspirations, her deep-seated trauma. It'll connect them forever. But at what cost? That's incredible. This was like kind of a reluctant pick because I know everybody loves it, but I don't know if I love a wolf story or a werewolf story. But then a lot of people were saying it has something like different about it that you'd really like. I literally had this specifically recommended to me by people. So I did grab When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. It's about a woman and a child, I don't think it's her child, who find themselves running for their lives. There's like a deadly encounter with the boy's father. Okay. At first Jess thinks she understands what they're up against, but she's about to learn that there's more to these surreal and grisly events than she could have imagined. Because there's like all of these dead people they're leaving behind. So like, is she the wolf? Is the kid the wolf? Is the dad the wolf? I have no idea, but the bookmarks that they send are so cute. And then, oh, this one's different. In past boxes, there has been a card with like a stack of books on it with all the spines, which I think is really fun. This one is just all of the covers. Actually, I might go back and grab Julie Chan is Dead because people have been hyping this up. I've seen a lot of people getting Aardvark and saying this is the book, like this is their book of the year. Everyone has to read it. And I'm like, really? So I'll be thinking about that one. Another Aardvark thing is in this stack. I guess I should pull it out. This one is Bat Eater, another name for Cora Zhang. This was a Literally Dead book club pick. I love when book boxes align with the things that I'm reading for my book club. And this is about a woman whose sister dies. She's killed in a hate crime at the beginning of the book. And it is a very gory, gruesome horror book where she sees these ghosts coming and harming people. And then in reality, because we don't know if what she's seeing is real or not, or in her head because she's very affected by this trauma. She's a crime scene cleaner and she notices an increase in violence against fellow East Asian women while she is doing this work, and she's trying to like separate real life from the work, but she is deeply affected, and it was a great one. There's a live show for it that you can watch if you're interested. You are crooked. That's okay. I've helped you out. Now, if I've hauled these ones before, I mean, I'm sorry, I guess, but I have been pretty much once a month grabbing one of these every time I'm at Mosaic Books, my local indie. So I got The Winter's Tale really recently, which I didn't notice is a little bit damaged, or like, I don't know, this ink just doesn't stick to these, but I've committed to collecting all of them, and I have maybe 15 of them now. And the black ones, even though they're just sitting on my shelf, I've barely touched them, they're getting worn down. So anyway, The Two Gentlemen of Verona and Love's Labour's Lost. These are the Pelican Shakespeare collection. And I don't actually know, well, The Winter's Tale, yeah, but I don't know if I read either of these two ever. I'm thinking not. So that's fun. I usually try to organize a book haul in some kind of way, and I didn't this time, and now I'm feeling very chaotic. Why do I have so many romance in my hands? That was only the first stack. Is there more in the back? I don't know. Okay, so these are some that I've read, not in my book by Katie Holt, where these two characters are in a writing program together and they don't get along and they're disrupting the class, and the teacher makes them write a book together. I quite liked the setup. I liked a lot about it, and I think regular romance readers, of which I'm not, would like it. A 5-letter word for love by Amy James. I actually have heard like not great things about it, and I don't know why. I don't know, I haven't read it yet, but it's not like Wordle is the plot, you know? It's how the book is marketed, and so I fell for it, and I love Wordle, and I play it every day with my husband. In here, she is working with, like, I think it's a coworker thing, and then one day she is about to lose her streak, and she asks her coworker who she doesn't get along with for help, and then they start a romance. So it's literally just like the beginning of the book is Wordle. It's not like, how even would Wordle be the entire plot? I don't know, but I was convinced to pick this up. So good on you, marketing team. This one is Flirting Lessons by Jasmine Guillory. I did read this one. I guess it wasn't super memorable, but we have one woman who is kind of inexperienced and someone who's very experienced, and they decide, you know, flirting lessons are to come, but then of course they fall for each other in the process. This is Better by Far by Hazel Hayes. I can't explain why I picked this one up. Well, I can because it was heavily discounted. I think I only saw one person, Jan, review this. That's in my memory who I heard of this from, and she really loved it. And we don't agree on books a lot, so I don't know why that convinced me I needed it. Following a breakup, Kate and Finn agree on an unusual arrangement. With 12 weeks left in their lease, the two will share the house they've dreamt of living in together, apart, alternating week by week. Read books like this and I didn't love it. I think, oh, it was genre defying. Like what? I think there's something about time travel or something. That's what it is that made me actually want to read it. I also got The Breakup Pact, again, because I found it in the bargain section. I just love a gimmick, and this one is a fake dating situation where these two have been humiliated, I think, online, and they decide to date, and then the breakup pact is like they have a certain date that they agree to end it, but they're not going to. This just looks like a good summer romance. Do I usually like summer romance? I don't know. Ooh, here's another one that's a time travel kind of thing. The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood. I was convinced to read this last year when it was in the Goodreads Choice Awards, and I was like, that one could be for me. And I've been thinking about it ever since. We have a character who dies, and then she gets the opportunity to like see what her life would have been. So maybe she gets all of these opportunities to try out different experiences. Is she gonna actually get to fulfill them? She's in the afterlife waiting room. So maybe we're talking like purgatory, and so she will get the opportunity to actually be in the real world after, and she like comes back to life. Maybe the man brings her back to life. This one, I didn't mean to haul, but it was in the stack, so I'm gonna mention it briefly, only because it's You by Rebecca Fisaha. This is an Ethiopian author. We have a man who is coming into Canada, and he needs like a spousal sponsor, and I think they were friends. They know each other somehow, and they're gonna, you know, fake date or have a marriage of convenience or whatever, and then fall in love for real. Okay, and then here's a stack of things that I've already read, so I can get through these quickly, and you can, if you haven't seen my reviews already, you can go find them. This is Deep Cuts by Holly Brickley. It is a messy relationship of two people who get together, they're friends, and they start to like kind of make music together. She's his muse, but also she starts to impact the music, and then he can't do it without her, and messy, like real messy, but I loved it. The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love by India Holton is a cutesy rom-com historical fantasy where these two want to be rivals because there's a competition to be the best birder, but they can't resist each other, and everything is pushing them together, including everyone who's like watching the competition and putting it on because they see the spark between them. So fun. Not fun, but funny still is Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. This is a stalker romance. I think I've talked about it enough, and I'm not going to sit here and defend it to anyone. I also decided to grab Catalina. I was going back and forth between this one and the paperback, but this one I found discounted, so that made the decision for me. The green and gold is really beautiful. You're following a woman named Catalina, and she's just really navigating life. She's living in the States and undocumented, and that is how she has to make a lot of, it's impacting a lot of the decisions that she gets to and doesn't get to make in her life. A Song for the Wild Built, again, found it discounted. Read it earlier this year, and I liked it. It's about a robot and a monk, a tea monk, who has this job making tea and connecting with people, and I don't know, it was cute. Will I continue in the series? I haven't thought about it. This is The Dragon's Bride by Katie Robert, in which a woman from a bad relationship sells her soul and gets into this relationship, and it's just like really soft and welcoming and loving for her, even though he's a dragon. My Death by Lisa Tuttle I purchased because this was told to me that I had to read from my members TBR jar. I can't really remember what it was about. Oh yeah, she's going to write the biography of a woman, and then once she actually gets into contact with that woman, things start to be strange between them and their realities, I guess. Brighter Than Scale, Swifter Than Flame by Neon Yang is a dragon hunter story where we have this one character who's going to another kingdom and falls for the queen, and she is like hiding her identity, and they just, I don't know, break each other out of their shells, and it's a beautiful, wonderful time with also hunting of dragons. Oh, I also read Murder by Memory by Olivia Waite. I purchased this one before I read it, and then I only gave it a 3, so this will be leaving my collection, actually along with quite a few of these by the end of the year. But this one is like on board a spaceship, and then there's a murder, and there's body swapping and stuff. So we have a character who can put their consciousness into other bodies and whatnot. That's the beginning of a series, I'm pretty sure. And a couple of random picks that I made, again, all on sale. It was a good purchase time for me. This is Wool. It's Silo Book 1. And a couple people have told me I need to read this and watch the show. It's by Hugh Howey. and I don't think I remember what it is. I know it's like apocalyptic in some way, right? The remnants of humanity live underground in a single silo, but if you're bad, you have to go outside. What's outside? God, I don't know when I'll actually get around to reading this, but I have it. I also found hard copy by Fien Veldman, which is the one that I almost read for the sentient romance thing, but I think it's not a sentient romance. It's just about a printer and the woman who like falls in love with the printer or becomes obsessed with the printer or wants to be friends with the printer. And I think the story is told from the perspective of the printer, or at least part of it. I also got Deathless by Catherine M. Valenti, just because I think I like this author and I want to read more from her. And this is the one I think of all her stuff that people have recommended to me most. This is a long synopsis. We follow Maria. She transforms from a clever child of the revolution to Kaushi's beautiful bride to his eventual undoing. Along the way, there are Stalinist house elves, magical quests, secrecy and bureaucracy, and games of lust and power. It's magical history, actual history, mythology, love and death, Russian myth. Half of that was the synopsis, half of it is a blurb. My bad, it wasn't that long. I also grabbed Pink Slime, and I might regret this, I feel. Because sometimes when there is this horror book that takes like the focus of everybody's channels for a couple months, I'm like, will I like it? Or is it gonna be one of those ones that everyone's obsessed with and I don't get it? And I don't know, I have a feeling about this one. It's Fernanda Trias. And it's a city ravaged by a mysterious plague. A woman tries to understand why the world is falling apart. There's an algae bloom that has like infected people, but it's more about her relationship with the people in her life. I think her vulnerable mother, her ex-husband, who she still harbors feelings, the boy she nannies. Next, we've got this stack. This is another one that is like one that everyone's been talking about. And so I feel like I should at least own it. And then one day I'll read it. It's Beautyland. It does sound like it's something up my alley, but it also feels like one of those books that has a really obvious kind of message and conclusion in my mind. So it's not something that like I got excited to read last year, but the more people talk about it, and I saw it a few times on the besties spreadsheet as people's favorites, I was like, yeah, okay, I'll own it. This is by Marie Helene Bertino. It kicks off with a voyage going to a faraway planet and a child who's born who's like different. She possesses knowledge of a faraway planet. For years, she moves through the world and makes a life for herself among humans. Oh, she's from another planet. Okay, I don't know, but Adina is gonna like share her knowledge with the world and publicly be like, I am an alien. And I think it's supposed to be, you know, a reflection of reality and not belonging and etc. I picked up this one. Actually, these you're going to see me haul in my upcoming vlog this weekend. This one is Everybody Wants to Rule the World Except Me by Django Wexler. It's a sequel to How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying. I don't want to give, actually, I don't even know the plot of this one, but I don't want to accidentally give anything away from the first book. We have a character who's stuck in a time loop and is trying to become the Dark Lord or defeat the Dark Lord. Things happen, and then I don't know what to expect from the sequel. I like never read a sequel, so I'm interested but nervous. I also grabbed Kill Creatures by Rory Power. This is the one where a girl kills all her friends and then one of them shows up at their funeral. And so did she kill any of them? Was she unsuccessful just about one of them? Is this like a magical kind of book? It's in the horror mystery realm, but I really just want to know why she killed her friends. So I'll be reading that, even though I haven't given Rory Power a high rating since like 2017. When did this come out? 2019. Oh my god. I also got this from the bargain section, The League of Gentlemen Witches by India Holton. You saw me down here in the pile haul The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love. This is also her, the same author. And this was recommended to me a ton before I had ever even read that or heard of it. People have been telling me to read this, and then when I realized it was from the same author, I was like, obviously, I have to get it immediately. There's a secret society. There's obviously witches. Oh, and there's pirates. Pirates and witches are sworn enemies, and to be seen with one another would surely break the witchcraft code. But she ends up on a mission to find an amulet with this man. I must read. Okay, I also recently hauled this one, or read it in a vlog, and I bought it in the same vlog that you're gonna see this weekend. It's It Lasts Forever and Then It's Over by Anne DeMarkin. And this is a story of an undead woman It's just very strange. It's a meditation on life and death, let's say. Also, I should have hauled this earlier with The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love, because this is the sequel, The Geographer's Map to Romance, but it's following different characters, and I don't really want to know who they are. Like, are they people we've already met? Are the two in the other one going to be featured in here? I don't know, and I don't know if I would want that. So I'm just gonna go into this knowing nothing once I actually get around to it. Okay, then let's do a couple books that have been sent to me. So I have 3 arcs. At least I thought they were arcs. I think this is the final copy of The Mercy Makers by Tessa Gratton. I haven't read this one yet. And it's about a woman who has to deal with like forbidden magic and forbidden love. It's the start of a fantasy trilogy. It feels very good. Why can't all books feel like this? Irisette is a prodigy and an outlaw. She dons the mask of her alter ego Silk to create magical disguises for people. Her father is also doing the same thing, or he's like in some kind of organization, and he gets in trouble and she has to use her magic to save him. I hope she succeeds, as long as he's a good person actually and not secretly actually evil. This one was also sent to me, The Unveiling by Quan Berry. Before I was sent a DM about this, I didn't even know Quan Berry was coming out with a book. She is the author of one of my favorite books, We Ride Upon Sticks, and this one is not getting very high ratings, which I think means that I'm gonna end up loving it. We have a character who is on a cruise. Also, I feel like I designed a cover one time that kind of looked like this. There was a video where I was making a fake cover to something that didn't have a cover yet, or I was predicting the cover of a book that I hadn't seen the cover of yet, and I feel like I made something that looked kind of similar. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. This is an Antarctic cruise. We have a film scout. Her mission is to photograph potential locations for a big budget movie. And then a kayaking excursion goes terribly wrong and she's stranded with a group of survivors on a remote island. We have so many of my buzzwords. The group's secrets, prejudices, and inner demons will emerge, while they're also facing like terror from the geothermic boiling vents and vicious birds. It says it's a ghost story. I imagine it's gonna be like kind of quirky and weird too. Oh my God, I need to read this soon. When does it come out? October? That's a long wait for everyone. Okay, and then I also got sent The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig, which I'm putting in the mail today to send to somebody else because I read it and thought it was fine. I think maybe I'll leave my tabs in. Maybe they would appreciate that. Maybe they wouldn't. But this is about a woman, and in this fantastical situation, she is diviner and she connects with these omens, and it's got a lot of religious stuff, but the main focus is a knight that comes to use the omens, but he ends up falling for our main character really quickly and they create this bond. It's like it's trying to be enemies to lovers, but it's not very convincing, but it's still good. Like, I like their relationship a lot. Okay, talking about my book club, I talked about that way earlier, a long time ago. Eat the Ones You Love by Sarah Maria Griffin is our current read. Live show at the end of June, and this is the one about a man-eating plant at a flower shop named Baby, and a sapphic relationship between maybe the owner and a new employee. I think that's the vibe. Can't wait to read it. Another romance that I have is Wedding Dashers by Heather McBreen. I'm trying to figure out what video to include this in because I have one in my mind where I'm doing a bingo board and it's all of my favorite like tropes and or micro tropes or themes or random things. One of them is books revolving around weddings, which this is, but also I kind of want to save this for the Buzzword Reading Challenge because it has transportation on the cover, which is one of the prompts. So now I don't know which one to pick it for because I don't have a lot of options outside of these, you know? I did have this one as an option. This is No One Was Supposed to Die at the Wedding. Oh, this is about two people who are headed to a wedding and then it's like chaotic and I think they're stuck on a train or something together for a while and they fall in love. If that's not the plot, you'll find out when I post the vlog. No One Was Supposed to Die at the Wedding by Catherine Mack is a sequel to Every Time I Go on Vacation Someone Dies, where we have an author on a book tour and there's a deadly thing that happens and they have to solve a mystery, all the authors together. This one is after the fact and I guess someone dies at a wedding. And this I was gonna read for the wedding bingo thing, but I ended up picking it out of my TBR jar and it fit in perfectly with my idea of reading something for Summerween because I don't really have a good TBR solidified for that. So I'm gonna read that for that instead. Okay, another mystery sequel. We have Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man by Jessica Q. Sutanto. This, in the first book, Vera Wong finds a dead body in her tea shop, and she very funnily and charmingly tries to solve the mystery with a bunch of her customers. And this is the sequel. I guess she's snooping on a dead man. This one I was thinking of using for the punctuation prompt for the buzzword reading challenge, but I don't remember which month that's for. So I might do that unless I find something that would fit even better. And then this one is my current besties book club. My channel members have a book club like seasonally read, and it's All the Water in the World by Erin Kafal. And we have a live show coming up this very weekend, and I haven't started it. So this is what I'm going to be doing today, tomorrow. And it revolves around the Museum of Natural History. Like, it's the end of the world, there's flooding, and the people stay in there, but then they have to leave because it started to flood it, and they want to save all of the artifacts. But they also like are just this tight-knit community, I think, or they have to become that. They have to travel somewhere together, be welcomed by other people. And so far, I will say, I don't think a lot of the besties have been loving it, but I'm committed to reading it and talking about it with everybody. I also have Their Monstrous Hearts by Eugene Turan, and this is a story. I read the first chapter and I thought it was fine, and now I need to find some motivation to finish it. They do have like a bug vlog maybe coming up, so if you think this would be a good pick for that. Have I already asked this? No, I think I asked it about another book. Like, how much are the butterflies and caterpillars actually a part of the story? Like, would it be a good pick for a bug vlog? A mysterious stranger shows up at Ricardo's apartment with some news. His grandmother has died, and Ricardo has inherited her villa, and there's a famed butterfly collection. And then he goes there, and there's mysteries. Something is wrong in the greenhouse, but it gives him inspiration to finish his manuscript. I do think this will be good, but everyone keeps telling me it's actually not a very good book. So I guess I'll find out for myself eventually. It's just hard to find the motivation to read something when you haul it and everyone's like, yeah, it's not that good. You're like, okay, I guess I have 700 other books I'll read before it. Lastly, I just picked up The Emperor of Gladness by Ocean Vuong. I don't know that I ever read the synopsis of this, but I was obviously going to pick it up. Like, anything this author writes is incredible. And if this gets a 5-star, I can officially consider Ocean Vuong an all-time favorite author. Let's find out what it's about. One late summer evening in the post-industrial town of East Gladness, Connecticut, 19-year-old Hai stands at the edge of a bridge in the pelting rain ready to jump when he hears someone shout across the river. The voice belongs to Grazina, an elderly widow succumbing to dementia, who convinces him to take another path. I have read this. Bereft and out of options, he quickly becomes her caretaker. Over the course of the year, the unlikely pair develops a life-altering bond. Following the cycles of history, memory, and time, it shows the profound ways in which love, labor, and loneliness form the bedrock of American life. This is gonna make me cry. I think I need to pick it at the right moment. When is that gonna be? It doesn't really feel like the lighthearted summer picks that I think I'm in the mood for, so I'm a mood reader now. I'm gonna save it for like maybe even winter, unless a vlog comes up where it would be the perfect pick. So that is the 45 things that I have hauled in the last couple months. The things that I've bought, a couple of things that were sent to me. My last couple hauls I feel like have been a lot of books I've read and then a chunk of books I want to read. This one, there was a lot of things I haven't read yet, and I guess we'll have to check in at the end of the year. Should I have some accountability here? Will I read these? I think I will. I think everything here, besides the Stephen Graham Jones, like I'm actively interested in, and that stack is only because like I just want to own all of his books and I know I'm going to read them all eventually. So I think I don't save him in my brain as like an oh my god excited to read backlist. It's just like I know when I read them, they'll be fantastic. Okay, I'm just yapping now for no reason. This video is long enough. Thank you for hanging out with me on another casual Wednesday, and I'll see you this weekend for a vlog. Bye!